I often find that the things that I'm not great at myself. Hi there, welcome to today's vlog. I'll cut straight to the chase. I was absolutely thrilled yesterday to get a phone call while I was in the car, of course using my Apple CarPlay kit, not answering the telephone whilst driving. I was supposed to get a phone call from the Prestige Awards that told me that I won the 2020 Music Teacher of the Year, which is quite extraordinary and quite amazing, and I'm really thrilled, honoured and humbled. Generally, I feel like I'm doing an Oscar speech here. Let's hope Ricky Gervais doesn't interrupt me. Anyway, what I wanted to say though is it's really nice to be recognised and to receive such an award. You know, I don't take them lightly. It was great to win the digital award a few years ago for the website, and you know, I keep working hard at my teaching. I've now this month been teaching for 20 years on the saxophone. My first ever student was a boy called Daniel, who I taught on clarinet in Kirkham in Lancashire. I still remember Daniel. I might not remember all my students. I do remember a lot of them, but I do remember Daniel, teaching him clarinet through Tune a Day But One. And do you know what? One of the big things that teaching has done is that it's made me a much better player through it, because if you're going to go and teach something, you have to strip it all back. And especially if you're going in to a certain extent with a blank piece of paper and trying to be very aware of maybe the weaknesses you have. So in other words, the things that your teacher didn't teach you that maybe you need to get better at. I often find that the things that I'm not great at myself personally, don't have a natural ability for, such as things like sight reading, I'm a much better teacher of, because you know, you can't rely necessarily on your natural talent to get you through when you're teaching, because you've got to think of different strategies, different ways of overcoming it and getting my way through. So it's been amazing. It's an honour. It inspires me to keep working hard, but actually most of all, and this sounds cheesy but it's true, it's down to my students. It's down to the students who are so generous in their testimonials, who work so hard at what they do. They practice, they keep doing the basic stuff that I'm drilling into them, and it's kind of one of those things that I've noticed in 20 years of teaching, is that those that do really well are those that are not shy of doing the basics. I want to look at how my music teaching career has evolved. I mean, when I started teaching, I was still living at my parents' house. I was kind of eking out a living playing with the Blues Brothers band and doing some other stuff around and about, playing in some big bands in Lancashire. And I used to drive to students' houses. I used to drive around to people's homes and teach them in their homes, which was obviously useful, and it was good for them. It was a great experience for me, but gosh, it was stressful at times, especially when you were on the third lesson of the evening and you were running 25 minutes late by that point because of traffic, and you knew you wouldn't be getting home till much later. I've got to say, with the advent of Skype, and obviously when I've had my studios, it's been much easier to teach in those situations than it necessarily was doing home visit lessons, which is why I don't do it anymore. I appreciate those people, you know, might find it useful, but like I say, with the advent of Skype, it's fantastic. I mean, you know, even just in the last few days, if I look at the countries where I've had Skype lessons to, I had Skype lessons to Saudi Arabia, to Manchester in England, to Ireland, to America. I've got people in the East Coast of the States this afternoon. You know, it's kind of that, when I started teaching, was just so, you just never have imagined it. One of the biggest thrills I've had is all the different people I've been able to meet through my teaching. And, you know, students I first started out teaching 15, 20 years ago now, you know, kind of people who were children at that point. You know, they're only kind of like 7 or 8 years younger than me, maybe up to 10 years younger than me. But it's so great to still be in touch with some of them. You know, there's kind of Joanna, who is now a doctor, and there's Beth, who's doing research at university. And, you know, there's loads and loads of other students that I've known through the years. There's then people like Rob Burton, who, you know, went on to be runner-up at the BBC Young Musician of the Year. He's now carving out his own professional career. And then adult students that I've got to meet, you know, kind of Antarctica, people who work, you know, take their saxophones down to Antarctica like Ali did. Again, you can watch a bit more in this article. Doctors, people like Dennis, you know, who's done talks on, you know, what jazz can teach doctors, those kind of things. Scientists, counsellors, footballers, people who kind of do a so amazing range of jobs. You know, and like you guys, I mean, I think we said before, stick in what we're doing. What are we doing as other things as far as playing the saxophone goes? It's been an amazing experience, and one I'm looking forward to continuing. And in a way, looking back over 20 years and seeing, you know, where things were when I started, and kind of what I was teaching at when I was getting out in the year 2000, I wonder what the next 20 years of my career are going to be, because effectively I'm sort of in the middle, I guess. Maybe not quite in the middle. No, I'm not in the middle. I'm still in the first third. I hope to be anyway. But it's really interesting. I've only been on YouTube for 3 years, really doing it properly with the vlogs, and it's been amazing how many of you guys have joined in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe if you don't already. I want to break that 10,000 mark before the end of March. It's just been a fantastic, wonderful experience. So thank you if you're one of my students. If you'd like to be one of my students, or you'd like to have a look at something on the Cambridge Saxophone website, 4 free lessons are available to you, of course, on the website. But speaking of teaching, I've now got to go out and teach my advanced jazz group. I guess when I reflect back on the teachers that have inspired me to become a teacher it's always those teachers that have been a little bit out of the box, that have been willing to say the controversial things, willing to stick to their guns at times, not to just parrot the normal lines that educationalists come up to. Also very, very good at not blasting people with jargon. I was chatting with a student yesterday, we were going through their A-level music paper, and we were Googling through what was on the A-level syllabus, and there's just a tremendous amount of utter bull, basically, put onto these exam papers to try and make people sound intelligent. And it happens a lot in music, where we use a lot of jargon, we use a lot of things that lay people don't understand to make ourselves look intelligent, and I don't think that's what we should be doing as musicians, especially as music teachers.
People.
I forgot the bass player wasn't here today, so I had to end up playing bass parts on the keyboard. Not my favourite part of the job, and those bass parts are often quite easy. It's very easy to get lost and forget where you are and forget the form. It's a different role from being a sax player. One of the things that came back to me whilst I was reflecting for today's vlog is that the pride I feel when my students perform. My first sort of student performance that I can remember was probably like April 2001-ish, maybe 2002, when a group of my students were performing at a village hall in Poulton-le-Fylde, not far from where I grew up. And just the sheer pride I felt there, that there were my students that I taught how to play those pieces. And I think they're only playing like grade 3 pieces, they've only been playing like less than a year, up until the point where you get people like Rob Burton on BBC Young Musician of the Year, which is amazing. And I've also got some more students going in for that this year, so what's the space? But yeah, it's been amazing, the pride. And then, kind of when they go on to play their own gigs, and in some cases, some of my students have actually sent me gigs, which is kind of when it comes full circle before the age of 40, which is kind of weird. Heading off back now, I've just been to say at Saffron Hall, where I do this advanced jazz group. Gorgeous area, just going past Audley End House. I think there's another vlog there you can find. I really need to get my car washed, and then I've got another 3 students. Got 1 coming to the studio, and then 2 on Skype, and then chill, maybe get some practice done myself, maybe get that music I was going to write 2 weeks ago done that got kind of shelved because of that family emergency. A lot of the music I use in the vlog tends to be stuff from gigs or recordings, previous recordings, because that's often better. But sometimes I want to change the mood a little bit, and I've built up over the years a bit of library music. Right back at the start of the vlog, I couldn't use my own music because I was getting copyright notices slapped on it by my own distributor, who was telling YouTube that I was illegally using my own music. So at least I know it works, but I have to then get everything whitelisted. So what that led me to do was to write a little bit. Now, I've just realised I've just started writing something down because the camera wasn't working properly. And I don't have the keyboard for the Mac because I haven't done any composing since I came in here. I've got the real piano over there. I don't have my stage piano that I used to have when I was in the previous studio. And in order to try and keep desk space to a premium, because you can see it's not very tidy, I do subscribe to the Einstein theory. Whether this is a complete load of rubbish, whether Einstein ever said it, but the idea was that if a cluttered desk is the sign of a cluttered mind, then what is an empty desk the sign of? But I don't have my keyboard anyway, which means I can't put a bass part in. I can't find a loop. So basically what I'm doing, I've created a drum track using the thing in Logic, the kind of drum machine in Logic. I've taken a loop there. Nice kind of hip-hop kind of beat going on there. Just kind of chill out music. And it's so easy to do it. Now, if I had access to a keyboard, I'd then start putting a bass part underneath. What I am going to do though is add a saxophone part to it. I'm just thinking of some kind of really atmospheric, kind of distant soprano sax sound. Change of mind, it's not working on soprano, that one. I'm not hearing it. Let's try an alto. That was the music you just heard, and that was how I go about writing it. Yeah, kind of not much else to say today. Thank you very much for watching today's vlog. Sorry this bit is kind of 2 weeks delayed. Thank you for all those of you who have already emailed me to offer your congratulations. You know, I'm just going to keep on working hard and keep on doing it. It's great when honours and awards like this come along, but I'm in no doubt that the hard work that got me here will need to keep me here as well. And yeah, it's a great honour, and thank you very much. Make sure you hit a like and give us a subscribe. This was my last vlog here. This is what I was up to at this time last year. I'll be back with a vlog probably next week sometime. Let me know and let me have some Q&A. So it'd be great to hear from you. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.